Hello students, today in this video we will see a problem on single server queue. So the question goes like this: a small grocery store has only one checkout counter. Customers arrive at this checkout counter at random from 1 to 8 minutes apart. The service times vary from 1 to 6 minutes with the probabilities shown in the table. Simulate arrival and service of 6 customers. Assume the first customer arrives at time 0. So students in the exam, even if they don't give this statement, assume the first customer arrives at time 0, you will have to write down that particular statement, because we always see that the first customer arrives at time 0 and they have given the service time and the respective probability. So since it is for 6 minutes, between 1 to 6 minutes service time, so they have given 6 minutes here and the respective probability, and use the following sequence of random numbers. So random digits for arrival and random digits for service time they have given. Here the random digit for the first arrival time, for the first one, for the first minute, it is no, nothing is given, it is just a hyphen here. That means the first customer, since he is arriving at time 0 itself, there is no random number digit for the first customer. Okay, and then find average waiting time of a customer, probability that a customer has to wait in the queue, probability of idle time of the server, then average service time, average IAT, then average time the customer spends in the system. So these are the things which you are going to find out. So we will have to generate few tables here. So the first table you are going to generate is arrival time distribution. So we will make columns, one for IAT, that is time between arrivals, then probability, then cumulative probability, and then RDA, that is random digit assignment. So how do we find this inter-arrival time is, just look at the question. Since they have given customers arrive at this checkout counter at random from 1 to 8 minutes apart, they have specifically not given any probability for arrival time. So what you can do is, you first write down, since it is between 1 to 8 minutes, you write down 8 rows here. Inter-arrival time will be between 1 and 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then probability, since nothing is being given, we will go with the equal probability. So that is 1 divided by 8. 8 is the last one. So 1 divided by 8, that is 0.125. So equal probability we will have for all the inter-arrival times. Okay, and cumulative probability is, you know how to find. So take the first one, that is first probability 0.125, that you write it as it is, and then the next cumulative probability is calculated as, take the second probability, add it with the cumulative probability of the previous one, and then write it here. That means 0.125 plus 0.125, which will be 0.250. Similarly, the next one, 0.125 plus 0.250 will be 0.375. So the same procedure will be continued here. So last one will be 0.125 plus 0.875, we will get 1. That means cumulative probability, finally we should get 1, because it is being distributed among all the inter-arrival times. Okay. So the last one, the cumulative probability for the last row will be always 1, that you will have to be very clear. And then the next one we will have to find out random digit assignment now. So according to the question, they have given random digits for arrival. It's all 3-digit number. So let us make it into a 3-digit random assignment here. So the first one, we will have to find out random digit assignment, we will have to look into the cumulative probability. So what is a cumulative probability for the first row, that is for IAT 1, it is 0.125. So the range will be, you always have to start with 1. So 1 to 0.125, you can write it as 125, because it has to match with whatever random digits given in the question, like this. Okay, and the second one will be 125, we stopped. So the next one will be the range 126 to 0.250, we can make it to 250. So the next one will be 251 to 375. and then next one will be 376 to 500. The next one will be till 625, 750, 875. The next one will be 876 to, you don't have to write 1000 here, you can just make it to 000, because we started with 1, we will end with 0 here. Okay, so the next table will be service time distribution. So this table also similar to the previous one, only thing is service time will be different. Probability you will have to find out, you will have to, if at all it is given, you will have to write it down, otherwise you will have to go for equal probability, then cumulative probability, then RDA, just like this. Okay, so according to the question, they have given random this one, probability of service time is given, then probability is also given. So just copy these values into this particular table, service time 1 to 6, then the corresponding probability. Then you know how to find the cumulative probability. So see that 1 you get at the end. But here I have just taken 2 digits here. You know why? Because in the random digits for service time, it is only 2-digit number here. So you can make it into a 2-digit number here. So RDA will be 0, 1 to 0.1, I can take it as 10, then 11 to 30, then 31 to 60, 61 to 85, 86 to 95, and 96 to 00. Okay, clear with this? Yeah. The next one, we will have to find out IAT. We will have to find out IAT. So for this, we need 3 columns. One is customer. How many customers is given? According to the question, they have given simulate for 6 customers. So 6 customers we will write down here. Okay, so 6 rows, then random digits, and then IAT. So random digits, according to the question, they have given, right? Random digits, they have given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 customers. So 6 customer, the first customer has no random digits. So the second one is having 913 and then 727, it goes on. So the same numbers I have just written it here. Okay, and then we will have to find out the IAT. So the first one is random digit, nothing is there, so it is 0. And then second one, 913. So let us go find out in the table where we found out arrival time. So that is the first table you have to go with. So go with the that is arrival time distribution. So the number is 913. So where 913 lies among these RDA, we will have to know. So where does 913 come? In this particular range, 876 to 0. Okay, the corresponding IAT is 8, right? So we will have to write it as 8 here. Similarly, 727, that comes under 727. So that comes under 626 to 750. So the corresponding IAT is 6. So the same way you will have to just complete this particular table. Okay, then the fourth table will be determining ST. So the same way customer, RD, ST. So now you will have to look into the RD of the random digits for service time. So service is given right from first customer, no? So all the 6 customers are having random digits. So 84, 10, 74, 53, 17, 79. So that I have written it down here. Okay, and then you have to find out the service time. So how do you find the service time? Go with the second table here. So second table we found the RDA. So the corresponding ST we will have to look into. So first one is 84. So 84, where does it come? 61 to 85, this range. So what is the service time? 4. So that you are writing it down here. Similarly 10, which comes under 1. See, look at this. 1 to 10 alva, so 1 it is. So the same way you will have to complete this table also. Okay, so the next one is the main one, simulation table. So 5 tables totally we will be generating. So in the simulation table, you will have to make the columns like this. The first column is customer number, then next one is IAT, then AT, inter-arrival time, service time service begins, then waiting time, that is delay, then time service ends, then time spent in system, then idle time of the server. Okay, so first time whenever you start with the table here, you first write down how many customers we have, that is 6 customers. Then from the previous tables, you calculate IAT. and ST, both of them we determined here, okay, from table 3 and 4 here. So we found IIT, we found ST also. So those two you write down first. Then arrival time we will have to find out. So arrival time is nothing but the cumulative IIT. Okay, so first one is 0. The next one will be uh, the next one will be 8 plus 0. 8 plus 0 we get 8. The next one will be 6 plus 8, 14. Then 1 plus 14, 15. Then 8 plus 15, 23. 3 plus 23, 26. So this we have got as arrival time here. Okay, did you understand? So first you have to complete customer numbers, IAT, ST, and then you calculate AT, which is nothing but the cumulative value. Okay, then we will start with the row wise filling of the values. Okay, so first one, let us see, time service begins. So first row, that means for the first customer, time service begins at 0. Okay, and so there is no waiting time, there is no delay for that. Time service ends is nothing but time service ST, that is service time, plus time service begins. So which is nothing but 4 plus 0. Okay, so time service ends is nothing but 4 plus 0, 4 here. So time service ends is service time plus time service begins. So 4 plus 0. Time spent in system. So how much time the customer has spent in the system is service time plus delay, that is waiting time. So which is again 4 plus 0, 4. Then idle time of the server, initially for the first customer it will be 0. Okay, did you understand this one? So initially time service begins will be 0, then waiting time will be 0, and then idle time of the server will be 0. Okay, so let's go with the next one. We have to calculate the second row. We will come to the second row, that is we know what is IAT, what is AT, what is ST. Now we will have to find out the time service begins. So how do we know the time service begins? For the first one, you know it is 0. So for the second one, how do we know it is starting at which time is? You will have to consider time service ends of the previous customer and then arrival time of the current customer. That means arrival time of the second customer, then time service ends of the previous customer. You compare their values. So he ended at 4, the time service ended at 4, but the next customer is coming at 8. So out of this, he has ended at 4, the next customer is coming at 8. So the time service begins at 8 only, correct? So among this 8 and 4, whichever is the greater value, that you are going to write here, 8. Okay, so waiting time, do you have any waiting time? Did he wait like suppose this is 4 and this is something like 2 or something, then he would have waited for 2 minutes. As of now, he ended at 4, the service ended at 4, the next customer is coming at 8, so there is no delay as such. So the delay is 0. And time service ends, so time service ends will be service time plus TS begins, so that is 1 plus 8, 9. And time spent in system will be service time plus waiting time, so that is 1 plus 0, which is 1. Okay, and now let us see what is the idle time of the server. So idle time of the server, how we are finding is, let's see what is the time service begins now. Okay, in this particular row, that is for this particular customer. So the time service begins at 8. Okay, what is the time spent in the system in the previous customer? That is 4. So 8 minus 4. So that is 8 and then minus 4. That will be your idle time. So 8 minus 4 will be the idle time. Okay, which is 4. Okay, and then we will move on with the next customer. So let us see how to find this TS begins again. So now you see the customer the time service of the previous customer ended at 9. Then the arrival time of the new customer is 14. That means the previous customer ended his service at 9. The new customer is arriving at 14. So the time service for the third customer will be out of 14 and 9, whichever is a greater one. That is 14. So 14 is the time service begins for third customer. So do you have any delay? Suppose it is 9 and suppose this is less than that, then you would have got any delay. As of now, there is no delay, so it is 0. Okay, then I mean, like it is ending at 9, the next customer is coming at 14, so there is no delay in giving the service. Okay, so time service ends will be 4 plus 14, 18, that is service time plus TS begins, and then time spent in system, which is nothing but service time plus waiting time, which is 0. So 4 plus 0, 4. So let's see how to find the idle time. So time service begins at 14 for customer number 3. But what was the time service end for the previous customer? 9. So 14 minus 9. So this way, 14 minus 9 will be 5. So similarly, the previous one is like this. Okay. So let's go with the next next customer. So next customer, he start, the time service ended at 18. Now the new arrival time is 15, right? So the service is ending at 18. The service is ending at 18, but the customer is already in at 15. Okay, so if you just see this one, 15 and 18, he has to end his service at 18, then only he can go with the next customer, right? So among these 15 and 18, which is the greater one? 18. That means he will start his service at 18th minute only, though the customer has come at 15th minute. Okay, so 18th minute. Did you understand? So now between, let us go with the time delay. He is ending at 18, and the next customer is already arrived at 15. So the customer number 4 has to wait for 3 minutes, correct? So 18 minus 15, 3 minutes. So this is the delay. Okay, and then we will see TS ends is 3 plus 18, 21. Time spent in system is 3 plus 3, 6. No, 6 minutes it has become. Okay, so idle time is 18, and he ended at 18. So 18 minus 18, 0. Okay, so the next one is, let us see how you will find out. Okay, what is the time service begins? So how do you find the time service begins? He is ending at 21, but the next customer is arriving at 23. So 23, 21. Okay, so which is the greater number? 23. So 23 will be the TS begins. Do you have any delay? No. And then you will find out TS ends, then time spent here. Okay, so 23 he is arriving, 21 he is ending his service. So 23 is the time service begins here. So 23 is the time service begins, and then waiting time 23 and 21. There is no end. I mean, like there is no waiting time as such. He ended at 21 and he started at 23. So there is no waiting time. Okay, and then 2 plus 23 will be 25, and 2 plus 0 will be the time spent. Now idle time, see 23 and 21 on at 21 only he finished his service, but the next customer is arriving at 23. So 23 minus 21, that is 2 minutes delay, idle time will be there. That means the server is idle for 2 minutes. So similarly, you can continue with the next one. The next one is time service begins the next customer. It is ending at 25. The customer is arriving at 26. So 26 is the next time service begins. There is no waiting time. And similarly, you calculate it. 26 minus 25, that is 1 will be the idle. So once you complete this one, you just calculate the total of IAT, total of ST, total delay, then total time spent in system, then idle time of the server. So these are the things you would have to just find out. Okay, and then The next one, since we have found out all those things, we will go find out what is the average waiting time of the customer. So average waiting time of the customer will be total time customer waits in the queue divided by total number of customers. So what is the total time customer waited in the queue? That is waiting time, that is 3 minutes. Okay, so 3 divided by total number of customers 6. So 3 by 6.5 minutes is the average waiting time of the customer. Then probability that a customer has to wait in the queue, which is nothing but total number of customers waiting in the queue divided by total number of customers. So how many of them waited in the queue? Let us see. See, now only one customer, that is customer 4 waited in the queue. So it will be 1 divided by 6, which is 0.166. Then probability of idle time of the server, which is nothing but total idle time of the server divided by total time service ends. So total idle time of the server. Okay. So idle time of the server is 12. And then time service ends. At what time did the service end? See, time service ending at 30. So divided by 30, which is point. Then average service time, total service time divided by total number of customers. So service total service time is 18 here. So 18 divided by 6, that means 3 minutes. So average service time will be 3 minutes. Then average IAT will be total of all IAT, that is total IAT divided by, since it is inter-arrival time, the number of arrivals minus 1 we will have to take. You know why we are taking minus 1? Because the first customer has no IAT. I think you can make out here. See, IAT. The first customer has no IAT, correct? So we will have to take 6 minus 1, that is 5 here. So 26 is the total IAT. See, 26 is the total IAT divided by 5, which comes to 5.2 minutes. And then average time the customer spends in the system is total time in system divided by total number of customers. So total time in the system is 21 here. So 21 divided by 6, that is 3.5 minutes. So this is how you will be calculating the values by generating the tables.